Welcome to another mind-expanding episode of Smoke and Mirrors. I'm your host, Brian Brown, coming to you hot from the heart of cannabis culture, thedailydank.com, where conspiracy meets chronic, and the truth always comes with a side of smoke. Today's episode is all about one number, 420, a number whispered in hallways, scribbled on notebooks, shouted from rooftops, and globally celebrated by millions. But where did it come from? Was it a cop code? A chemical formula? A secret stoner signal buried in time? You've heard the legends, but today we're separating the weed from the seeds, digging into the real origin of 420 and the cultural uprising it sparked. And hey, if you're feeling festive this week, and let's be real, we all are, make sure you swing by thedailydank.com. We've got exclusive 420 drops, killer content, and all the tools you need to elevate your holiday rotation. That's thedailydank.com, your headquarters for cannabis culture, conspiracies, and good vibes all year long. Plus, you can catch me live and lit this weekend as I host the world-famous Healing Center of Needles 420 Bash, happening Friday, April 19th and Saturday, April 20th. That's right. I'll be there in person, hanging out with the Dank Nation, giving away prizes, checking out the vendors, and soaking up all the high vibes. So come by, say hi, take a selfie, grab some fire deals, and celebrate the biggest cannabis weekend of the year with me and the incredible crew at the Healing Center of Needles. Now spark it, pass it, and let's dive into the hazy history of how 420 became the number heard round the weed world. This is Smoke and Mirrors, and this is one for the time capsule. All right, let's blaze into our first segment, the myths behind 420. You know the number. You love the number. It's on lighters, t-shirts, rolling trays, and probably carved into more school desks than math equations. But do you actually know where it came from? Let's clear the smoke on some of the most persistent false origin stories, those explanations that have been passed around like a bunk joint at a house party. Popular, a little sketchy, and totally off base. Myth number 1, 420 is a police code for marijuana. This is probably the most well-known theory, and the most wrong. People love to say 420 is police radio slang for catching someone smoking weed. Sounds cool, but it's pure myth. The LAPD and California Highway Patrol have officially stated that 420 is not, and has never been a code for marijuana possession or use. In fact, in some jurisdictions, it means obstructing entry, which is ironic, considering how many times weed has been blamed for slowing people down. Myth number 2, it's the number of chemical compounds in cannabis. Another popular myth is that cannabis contains exactly 420 active chemical compounds. It's catchy. It's sciencey. It's also completely false. While weed is chemically complex, with well over 500 compounds, including over 100 cannabinoids, the number has nothing to do with it. This myth really lit up in the 1990s and still floats around today like resin on a bubbler, but it doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Myth, your runner 3. Bob Dylan's Rainy Day Women are 12 and 35 is the code. Now this one's a stoner favorite. 12x35 equals 420. And the song does repeat the line, everybody must get stoned. Coincidence? Maybe. But there's no direct connection between Dylan and the origin of 420. He's cryptic, poetic, and brilliant, but prophetic weed oracle? Probably not. Still, it's a fun nugget of stoner trivia that we're happy to keep in the rotation. Just don't build a whole backstory on it. Myth number 4, Hitler's birthday. Yes, unfortunately, Adolf Hitler was born on April 20th, 1889. But that's a dark, ugly coincidence with zero connection to the cannabis community. Weed culture has always been rooted in peace, love, resistance, and rolling papers, not fascism. Associating 420 with Hitler is like confusing Bob Ross with Pablo Escobar. Absolutely not the same vibe. So if none of these are the truth, what is? Where did this magical number actually come from? What turned it into the international green light for lighting up? Stick around. We're heading to 1970s Northern California for the story of a group of high school stoners, a lost cannabis crop, and a secret code that would go on to spark a global movement. The real origin of 420, straight from the Waldos, is up next.
Are you ready to elevate your cannabis experience? Welcome to thedailydank.com, your ultimate destination for everything weed, laughs, and good vibes. We're more than just a website, we're a community. A place where cannabis lovers come together to share, learn, and have a blast. Whether you're tuning in for the wild and hilarious 420 Somewhere podcast, getting your game face on during one of our epic game night live sessions, or waking up to the wakey bakey morning show for your daily dose of fun, we've got something for everyone. Dive into our exclusive podcasts. From the spooky to the weird to the downright hilarious, we've got a show for every kind of stoner. We're not just about listening. We want you to join in. Our online meetups and community events give you a chance to connect with fellow dank heads and dive deep into everything cannabis culture. And hey, if you're looking for your people, you've finally found them. The Daily Dank is your home for all things stoner culture, crazy theories, and a whole lot of fun. Join the family today at thedailydank.com. This is more than just a website, it's a lifestyle. That's thedailydank.com.
All right, let's spark up the real story behind 420 and meet the group of high school legends who accidentally ignited a global cannabis movement, the Waldos. It all started back in 1971 in the Mellow Hills of San Rafael, California, where 5 students at San Rafael High School would gather, hang out, and, well, get high. They called themselves the Waldos, not because of anything deep or cryptic, but simply because they used to chill by a wall outside the school. Sometimes the origin stories are just that simple, folks. But it's what they did next that would accidentally etch them into stoner history forever. One of the Waldos got word through a buddy of a buddy that a Coast Guardsman stationed at Point Reyes had abandoned a cannabis crop somewhere deep in the woods. For a group of adventurous teenage stoners in the 70s, this was basically their Indiana Jones moment. Armed with a treasure map, okay, maybe just directions, and a dream, the Waldos decided to search for it. But they needed a time to meet. 4:20 p.m. was perfect. It was just after practice and just before dinner. And so the code was born to 420 Louis. 420 meant the time. Lewis was the guy's name or a reference to a map location, depending on which Waldo you ask. Either way, it became their secret call. 420 Louis meant meet by the statue, it's go time. They never actually found the crop, but they did find something even more potent, a code word that would live on for decades. Here's where the story goes from cool to cosmic. One of the Waldos had an older brother who just so happened to be tight with Phil Lesh, bassist of the Grateful Dead, a band already deeply woven into the cannabis counterculture. The Waldos started hanging around the Dead's rehearsals and backstage scenes, where the term 420 slowly started slipping into casual use. Now, if you've ever met a Deadhead, you know they don't just listen to music, they live it. That tight-knit, road-tripping, reefer-loving community took 420 and turned it into a full-blown code of their own. By the late 80s, it was being dropped in parking lots, scribbled on signs, and used as an inside joke coast to coast. And then came the big spark. In the early 1990s, High Times magazine, pretty much the Rolling Stone of weed culture, got wind of the term and ran with it. They printed it, branded it, and tied it directly to the calendar date, April 20th, aka 420. That 1-2 punch of deadhead grassroots buzz and national media exposure launched 420 from underground code to international cannabis call sign. It started showing up on T-shirts in movies, on protest signs, and eventually became the unofficial International Day to Blaze, a day to celebrate cannabis, push for legalization, and honor the culture that kept it alive through decades of stigma. From 5 high schoolers looking for free weed to millions of people gathering every April 20th around the globe, 420 has come a long, strange trip. And it didn't just survive, it thrived, becoming a unifying symbol for cannabis culture that spans generations, borders, and belief systems. Coming up next, we'll explore how 420 has evolved far beyond a code word. We'll dig into how it's used today as a day of protest, a day of celebration, and yes, even a day of major retail deals. Spoiler alert, cannabis now has its own Black Friday. So stay lit and stick around, we're just getting started. All right, let's take a look at how 420 has evolved into a full-blown cultural phenomenon. What started as a simple code word among a group of high school friends has grown into something much bigger, something that resonates globally with millions of people. First up, 420 is a protest date. Yes, folks, it's not just about lighting up, it's about standing up. Every year on April 20th, advocates for cannabis legalization gather en masse to push for reform. These aren't your average protests. They're full of energy, unity, and of course, a lot of smoke. From city parks to government buildings, the air is thick with both protest chants and cannabis aroma. It's a day when people come together to make a statement. It's high time for change. But 420 isn't just about serious activism, it's also a massive celebration. Cities like Denver, San Francisco, and Vancouver host some of the biggest 420 festivals, drawing tens of thousands of people. These events are like the Coachella of cannabis, featuring live music, celebrity appearances, food trucks, and vendor booths selling everything from glassware to edibles. It's a massive party where the focus is not just on the product, but on the community. Then there's 420 as the cannabis industry's version of Black Friday. Retailers roll out their best deals on April 20th, offering deep discounts on everything from flower to concentrates to accessories. It's a day of consumer frenzy as people flock to dispensaries both in-store and online to stock up on their favorite products. If you haven't checked out thedailydank.com for our special 420 drops and deals, you're missing out. But at its core, 420 is symbolic of something deeper within cannabis culture. It's a nod to a shared history and a collective wink of rebellion. It's a way to say, I'm a part of this, are you? It's a symbol of resistance against outdated laws, a celebration of how far we've come, and a reminder of the journey ahead. When you say Happy 420, it's like a secret handshake that bonds everyone in this shared experience. So there you have it. Whether it's a protest, a party, a shopping spree, or a symbol of unity, 420 has become much more than just a time or a date. It's a movement, a lifestyle, and a testament to the power of cannabis culture. Coming up next, we're going to turn up the heat just a bit and dive into some conspiracy theories. Could the government have hijacked 420? You don't want to miss this. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Healing Center, located at 1400 Needles Highway in the heart of Needles, California, right off the iconic Route 66 and just a stone's throw from the breathtaking Colorado River. But that's not all. Prepare yourself for the ninth wonder of the world, the legendary Wall of Flower. With over 60 brands and strains of top-tier cannabis, you'll be in flower paradise. At the Healing Center, we don't just have the best selection, we offer the lowest prices around. We're proud to be known as the #1 cannabis superstore in all the land, offering the best service, the best deals, and a shopping experience like no other. So, why wait? Come check out the world-famous Healing Center for yourself and see what all the buzz is about. For the latest scoop and hottest deals, head over to thedailydank.com and stay in the know. The Healing Center, where quality meets affordability. Your cannabis journey starts here.
Welcome back, Danksters. If you thought we were done unraveling the enigma of 420, think again. It's time to put on our tinfoil hats and spark up some of those wild conspiracy theories surrounding this iconic number. Could the government have hijacked 420? Let's explore. First up, the DEA. Some stoner theorists believe that once 420 became popular, the DEA started using it in sting operations. You heard me. The very thing that symbolizes freedom and rebellion in cannabis culture might have been co-opted by the feds to set up traps. Is it just a coincidence that they'd use a term so near and dear to the cannabis community? Or were they aiming to turn the movement against itself? It's enough to make you paranoid, but hey, a little healthy skepticism never hurt anyone. Next, let's talk festivals. Ever wonder why some major 420 events get shut down or infiltrated? Could there be a deliberate effort to monitor and control cannabis culture through its most celebratory day? Think about it. You plan a big gathering, and suddenly there's an increased police presence or even undercover agents. It's happened before. Some suggest it's a way to keep tabs on cannabis advocates and perhaps suppress any larger mobilization efforts. After all, what better way to manage a movement than to monitor its biggest celebrations? Now here's a theory that might bake your noodle. What if 420 was allowed to grow as a massive cultural phenomenon as a distraction? With everyone hyper-focused on celebrating this one day, maybe we're missing the bigger picture. Could it be a smokescreen to divert attention from more pressing issues like full federal legalization or the suppression of medical research? While we're all lighting up and having a good time, are we losing sight of the bigger battles yet to be won? It's a trippy thought, but one worth considering. We're not saying the government invented 420, but let's face it, Big Brother is always watching. Why wouldn't they keep an eye on one of the most significant elements of cannabis culture? All right, we've stirred the pot enough with these conspiracy theories. It's time to bring it all home. In our final segment, we'll reflect on what 420 really means today and why it's far more than just a time or a date. That's coming up next. Stay tuned. All right, folks, we've journeyed through the myths, unraveled the true origins, celebrated the cultural impact, and even entertained some wild conspiracy theories. Now it's time to wrap this sesh up and reflect on what 420 really means in today's world. 420 is no longer just a time on the clock or a date on the calendar. It's become a unifying symbol for the entire cannabis culture. It's the stoner's secret handshake, a way for us to say to each other, yeah, I get it. It's a part of our shared history, a collective nod to our past, present, and future. So this 420, as you light up, remember that you're not just celebrating a number, you're celebrating a movement. You're honoring a legacy of resistance and a fight for acceptance and legalization. You're part of something bigger than yourself, something that started with a group of high school kids looking for an elusive cannabis crop and grew into a global phenomenon. And hey, for the full breakdown of our wild stories and that unmistakable smoke and mirrors spin, make sure to check out the full episode on thedailydank.com. This is Brian Brown, wishing you a happy 420, a smooth rotation, and a future where the only thing outlawed is running out of papers. Until next time, stay curious, stay lifted, and keep your rotation tight.